Hello and welcome to the angel reading for the 11th of September and moving forward. So whenever you listen to this, it will no doubt be the right time for you to hear the message. So it doesn't surprise me what card came up today. I'm working with the angel cards from Ask an Angel Oracle cards. The card that came up today I very much relate to, and I wonder if some of you will too, the Dark Night of the Soul card. Angel Cassiel. Yep. I've certainly been going through this, and the energy from Angel Cassiel and this card just feels so soothing, compassionate, and really deep and soulful. That's a beautiful energy to bring to this time of Dark Night of the Soul. So yeah, really being gentle with yourself during this time. So Dark Night of the Soul, what I'm getting is that personally and collectively we are going through the time of the Dark Night of the Soul, and that'll be different for everyone. Some people who are perhaps more tuned into the collective, or just that's their time to really go through that, maybe feeling this more than others. But there is a sense to me that collectively we are going through this time of going into and through the sacred darkness, and that it's very much needed. And during this time, the Dark Night of the Soul, it's a number of things can happen, can be experienced in a number of ways. So you may find yourself going through times of despair, hopelessness. That's one way it can show up. Just not being able to see a way forward. It can be a very introspective, deep time. Of course, everyone will be with this differently. Can feel sadness coming up for no reason. These are just some of the ways that you might experience this, or really find things coming up. This is mostly what I've been experiencing, finding old emotions and situations from the past coming up to be resolved. And they may be quite old things and quite deep things. You may have different emotions coming up, maybe anger, maybe fear, maybe sadness, grief, whatever's coming up for you. Things that have been pushed down is what is coming up, right? Sometimes we go through life and we don't give time to feeling, to processing, to being with things. Maybe it just wasn't the right time to do this. So I found I've been dealing with some old stuff, some difficult stuff to be with. And so I really recommend that whatever's coming up, that you do take some time to be with this and know that this needs to happen. It's like we're going through this transition time. We're going through this time of deep transformation, personally and collectively. And it's like a deep purging and cleansing. And also, it's like this stuff is also baggage. It's heavy energy. It weighs us down emotionally, spiritually, and so we're clearing this out, this stuff we may have been carrying for a long time, even from past lives. And this is important work at this time, and giving time to this is a way of really honoring that process. And why are we going through this? So as we can move into the new energy. It's like we're really going through this transformation collectively with all the changes. There's a lot of outer stuff happening. There's a lot of inner stuff happening too. And it's about attending to both, that balance of attending to both. When we attend to the inner work and when you're going through the dark night of the soul, one of the things about that, it's very hard not to attend to it. It's like it pulls you inward. You can't really ignore it. It's not something that can be ignored, dark night of the soul. And there's a reason for that. It's because we do ignore it. We push these things away. We don't want to be with them. They don't feel good. Okay, they don't feel nice. They don't feel pleasant. We often don't want to deal with them. We push them down, ignore them. And we've done that collectively too. And so, here we are at this time when a lot of stuff's coming up outwardly to be dealt with. And this is going to be easier to move through if we also deal with what's coming up personally. There's like a mirror happening there, right? The collective and the personal. So when we do the work personally, when we really be with what's coming up for us, it's going to make it easier to collectively make outer changes, if that makes sense. And if you're going through this dark night of the soul period, it's not something that can easily be ignored. So it really does pull you inward and call for attention. And it's a good thing. It's needed. So this great cleansing and purging and, bringing up a lot of shadow stuff that we've pushed down, those parts of ourself, those feelings, those situations which we haven't wanted to be with, which are uncomfortable, which are not nice, the not nice parts of ourselves, the, that those feelings of whatever they are for you, not nice feelings in situations. I've been dealing with some pretty heavy stuff, and it hasn't been fun. And the thing is, when I get it and I sit with it and I be with it, instead of trying to push it away or do something outwardly with it, the transformation happens, a shift happens. Actually, we find the gold in that feeling. We find the insight in that. We find a new way to be with that. That's what can happen from this time, is we're willing to just sit with this, be with it in whatever way. And it might be going for a walk, going for a walk and just allowing that to be there. It might be journaling or doing something creative, a creative process, art, or making something with the hands can all be good. Just as a space to let stuff come up and process. Bath's really good during this time. Epsom salt bath is really helpful for cleansing during this time. Really help to cleanse the energies. I recommend that once a week to really help to cleanse any negative energies, negative emotions from at a cellular level. Spending time in nature can really help to just release any negative energies or emotions that are sitting in your energy. And so the key to this is really just letting it move, being present, not trying to push it down and ignore it, because it really has been ignored long enough. Just similarly, a lot of stuff coming up externally, we've ignored it long enough. So it does need to be seen and dealt with. So it's an inner outer thing that's happening. So realizing that, for me, realizing that things have a purpose, realizing that, as I say, there's gold in the shadows. So in the dark night of the soul, we find the gifts in these difficult feelings and situations. So, I had some really intense anger coming up a few weeks ago. It's really, really full on. I haven't had that much anger coming up for 30 years or something, a long time. And it was full on, and I had to actually shift how I was looking at something, and just really find new ways to be with this. Just sit with it, allow it, be with it, realize what it was about, deal with what I was feeling, instead of trying to do something with it or projecting it, just being with it. And a lot of positive changes have come from that for me, about really getting into my power and really coming into my power more fully. That's been really positive from dealing with that very difficult full-on emotion, and it was full-on. So, you know, it can be different things. You know, there's some very intense emotions coming up yesterday, and when I got it and really owned that, and I was working with one of the angels, Angel Inner Maya, and just really realizing how I was letting the situation really just trigger some not very nice emotions in me and bring that up, and how I could respond to that differently. And so just seeing that part of myself and how that could respond in how I had a choice around those emotions, and just owning that, owning those feelings that were coming up, and then making new choices how I would be with that situation that were more loving and positive, and knowing it was okay what I was feeling too. Just it was about acknowledging it, owning it, taking responsibility for it, and being with it, and then, you know, being with it, letting it process and understanding, and then making a new choice. It's what it's been for me, acknowledging, taking responsibility for sitting with it, you know, letting it just come up and clear a bit, and then realizing I can find a new expression. So I hope that's helpful, and you know, you're always welcome to ask questions if it can be of any help with anyone going through this too. You're welcome to ask questions or reach out. So yeah, take care. Challenging times we're in, and I do see, as I say, a bright new day on the horizon, but we've got a bit of work to do first. Okay, thank you for listening.